Egypt make history. Mohamed Salah leads Pharaohs to first ever World Cup victory. FIFA World Cup 2026. Intro. What if I told you that one of football's oldest national teams had to wait nearly a century to achieve something many nations take for granted? On a dramatic night in Vancouver, history was finally written. Egypt, a nation that made its World Cup debut way back in 1934, secured its first ever FIFA World Cup victory by defeating New Zealand 3-1 in a thrilling Group G encounter. And at the center of this historic moment was none other than Mohamed Salah. But this wasn't just another football match. It was a story of resilience, redemption, and a nation's dream finally becoming reality. Today, we're breaking down exactly how Egypt turned the game around, why this victory is so important, and what it means for the race to reach the knockout stages of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Let's dive in. A match with huge stakes. Coming into this match, both teams were chasing history. Neither Egypt nor New Zealand had ever won a World Cup match before. Egypt had impressed many fans with a hard-fought draw against Belgium in their opening game, while New Zealand earned a dramatic draw against Iran. With Belgium and Iran also competing in Group G, this match was viewed as a potential turning point for both nations. The stakes were enormous. A victory would place the winner in a strong position to qualify for the knockout stage. A defeat could leave qualification hopes hanging by a thread. From the opening whistle, both sides understood exactly what was at stake. New Zealand strike first. The game began with intensity. New Zealand looked fearless. Despite facing a squad featuring global stars like Mohamed Salah and Omar Marmish, the Kiwis showed no signs of intimidation. Their confidence paid off in the first half. A well-delivered set-piece created chaos inside Egypt's penalty area, and defender Finn Sermon rose highest to head the ball into the net. The New Zealand supporters erupted. Against the odds, New Zealand had taken the lead. For Egyptian fans, it was a nightmare scenario. Questions began to emerge. Would Egypt once again fall short on the world's biggest stage? Would another opportunity slip away? As halftime approached, New Zealand appeared comfortable. They defended with discipline and frustrated Egypt's attackers. The pressure was now on the Pharaohs. The halftime transformation. Great teams often reveal their character when facing adversity. And Egypt's response in the second half showed exactly why many analysts believed they could surprise people in this tournament. The momentum shifted almost immediately after the break. Egypt began controlling possession. Their passing became sharper. Their attacks became more dangerous. Most importantly, Mohamed Salah started influencing every part of the game. The Liverpool legend dropped deeper to collect the ball, created passing lanes, and constantly stretched New Zealand's defensive structure. Suddenly, New Zealand found themselves under relentless pressure. Wave after wave of Egyptian attacks crashed forward. The equalizer felt inevitable. And eventually it arrived. The equalizer. Around the hour mark, Egypt finally broke through. A dangerous delivery into the penalty area found Mustafa Ziko, who powered a header past the goalkeeper. The Egyptian bench exploded with emotion. The players celebrated passionately. The fans sensed something special was happening. The score was now level. But Egypt weren't finished. Not even close. The equalizer completely changed the atmosphere of the match. New Zealand, who had looked comfortable earlier, suddenly appeared vulnerable. Egypt sensed weakness. And Mohamed Salah was ready to strike. The moment of magic. Every great tournament creates iconic moments. This was Mohamed Salah's moment. With confidence surging through the Egyptian team, Salah received possession in a dangerous area. What happened next reminded everyone why he is considered one of the greatest African footballers in history. Displaying exceptional composure, movement, and finishing ability, Salah found the back of the net to give Egypt the lead. The stadium erupted. Egyptian supporters could hardly believe what they were witnessing. After decades of disappointment, after generations of waiting, their team was now just minutes away from a historic World Cup victory. Salah's goal wasn't just another statistic. It symbolized leadership. It symbolized belief. And it symbolized Egypt's determination to finally change its World Cup story. New Zealand's collapse. To New Zealand's credit, they continued fighting. They pushed players forward and searched desperately for an equalizer. But chasing the game created new problems. Defensive gaps began appearing. Egypt exploited them brilliantly. Then came the decisive blow. Another dangerous set piece caused confusion inside the New Zealand penalty area. Trezeguet found space and headed home Egypt's third goal. At 3-1, the contest was effectively over. The Pharaohs had completed a remarkable comeback. The dream was becoming reality. New Zealand, meanwhile, were left wondering how a promising position had slipped away. For the third consecutive match at a World Cup, they had failed to hold onto a lead. Why this win matters? This result goes far beyond 3 points. For Egypt, it represents one of the most significant victories in the history of their national team. Remember, Egypt first appeared at a World Cup in 1934. For nearly a century, generations of players came and went without experiencing a World Cup victory. Now, that painful record is finally over. This win also strengthens Egypt's chances of reaching the knockout stage. With 4 points collected from their first 2 matches, the Pharaohs suddenly find themselves in a strong position heading into their final group game against Iran. For New Zealand, the situation is much more complicated. They now face a difficult showdown against Belgium and may need a major upset to keep their hopes alive.
Mohamed Salah's legacy grows.
Whenever football history discusses African legends, Mohamed Salah's name is always mentioned. But international success has often been the missing chapter in his remarkable career. This World Cup could change that. Against New Zealand, Salah delivered exactly what superstars are expected to deliver:
Leadership,
creativity,
goals,
and inspiration. He wasn't just Egypt's best player. He was the driving force behind the comeback. If Egypt advances deep into the tournament, this match could be remembered as the moment Salah elevated his international legacy to a completely new level. For millions of Egyptian fans, he is already a hero. After this performance, that status only becomes stronger. What happens next? Group G remains fascinating. Belgium, Iran, Egypt, and New Zealand all entered the tournament with hopes of making history. Now Egypt have placed themselves firmly in the driver's seat. A strong result against Iran could secure qualification. Meanwhile, New Zealand faced the difficult challenge of overcoming Belgium. The final round of matches promises drama, tension, and potentially more surprises. And if the first 2 rounds have taught us anything, it's that this World Cup is proving far less predictable than many experts expected. Underdogs are competing fiercely. Traditional rankings mean little, and every match seems capable of producing history. Conclusion: football has a unique ability to create unforgettable moments. On this night in Vancouver, Egypt experienced one of those moments. After decades of waiting, after countless disappointments, after nearly 90 years of searching, the Pharaohs finally achieved their first ever FIFA World Cup victory. New Zealand started brilliantly, but Egypt's second half response showcased determination, quality, and belief. Mostafa Ziko ignited the comeback. Mohamed Salah delivered the magic. Trezeguet sealed the result. And an entire nation celebrated. The question now is simple. Can Egypt turn this historic victory into a historic World Cup run? Let us know your predictions in the comments below. Will Egypt reach the knockout stage? Can Mohamed Salah lead them even further? If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more global sports, geopolitical stories, and major world events. Thanks for watching.